Hello folks, welcome to Lester's Custom Truck Shop. On my bench today, I've got the new President Thomas FCC. This is their latest AM/FM version of the CB radio. President was one of the ones that proposed an AM/FM or adding FM to CB radio, and the FCC agreed. So let's get into it and see what's in the box, and then we'll check out the radio. More to come. Okay, so here's what's in the box. Of course, we got the standard President microphone. Has the up and down buttons on the top of the mic. Here is the Thomas. It looks very familiar, doesn't it? Reminds you of the Ronald. Of course, you get the owner's manual, the President sticker for your windshield or window, back window, mounting hardware, microphone bracket, and of course the mounting bracket. One thing I noticed right off the bat I don't like about the radio, power cord is permanently attached. So you get this wired into your vehicle, something happens to the radio, you need to take it out. Well, guess what? You got to fish all that power cable back out or cut it at the radio and splice it back together, which is a bad thing to have to do. I wish President wouldn't do that, but got to save that penny. All right, let's get it hooked up and see how she does. More to come. Well, there it is, powered up. Of course, the radio has a lot of functions, like all of the small President radios. This one, to change the color, you hold mode and EMG buttons as you turn the radio on. Yeah, you heard right. The radio has to be off. You press those two buttons and you turn the radio on. The same thing with the key beep, which that was the first thing I looked for, is how to turn that damn beep off. You turn the unit off, press and hold the down key, and then turn the unit on, and it cycles it on or off, which, is kind of stupid. And of course, you have the normal colors on the display: orange, green, blue, cyan, yellow, purple, and then of course white, or they call it clear because there's, it's just a white background. And of course, there's also functions with the push-to-talk switch. Now, all of these functions can be found on page 10 of the book. And I had to look them up because, it's not obvious that you have to turn the radio off and then turn the radio on while you're holding buttons to do functions. Which, President, that's really dumb. You should have it set up to where you push the function button and then, use a channel selector or the up-down button on the radio, or, any of the various buttons on the front to make the changes. Because it's a royal pain to try to hold those buttons down while you're turning on the radio. Now, if the radio's mounted in a vehicle or something, that might be more easy, but trying to do it here on the workbench, when I try to push the buttons, the radio wants to slide back off the bench. And, anyway. That's my 2 cents. Now, I know that there was a lot of hoopla over the FM, adding FM to these radios, but folks, we added FM to CB radios to use on the ham band back in the late 70s, early 80s. Okay. In fact, we had a whole section on the SSB, we had a whole section on FM in the back of SSB Engineering. Plus, you could buy kits from CB City to add FM to these radios. And of course, you basically took AM and added a discriminator to it to decipher the modulation. and they worked. The problem is FM's noisy. It's not like AM where you can open the squelch and listen without going deaf. FM is very noisy. Matter of fact, I'm on FM now. I'm going to open the squelch. Hear that? If you have a distant station that won't open your squelch, unless you do that, you'll never hear them. It's not like AM. AM, I can open the squelch. It's not that bad. If you've got a buddy that's off in the distance, you can leave your squelch open and listen for him. You'll probably hear him. That's why all aircraft are still amplitude modulated and not FM. The aviation band is strictly AM for the military and for civilian aircraft. So anyway, but you know, there it is. If you want to use it, it's there. You have to be pretty close together. All right, the next thing is the output power. Okay, this is an FCC approved radio, and President wants to make sure they don't exceed FCC specifications. Well, I have a 10 watt element on the RMS side and a 25 watt element on the peak side. So on the RMS side, we're going to be reading on that bottom scale there. Where it says 40, that's 4 watts. The little hash mark between the 20 and the 40 on the scale, that's 3 watts. Okay? On this one, we're going to be reading on the top scale. There where it says 10, that's 10 watts, 15, 15 watts, etc. Okay? That is the peak meter. Peak envelope power. Okay? Now, dead key, about 3.5 watts. You want to make sure they don't exceed the 4 watts that the FCC says you're allowed to have. Audio. Audio 1, 2, 1, 2, audio. Audio 1, 2, audio. We got pretty good peak power. About 22.5 on peak power. For a radio this size, that's pretty good. It also has a nice little heat sink in the back for the transistors, the MOSFETs. But there it is. There's several different colors. You know what? I bet you'd like to see those colors. Hang on, let me change them. I'll be right back. Okay, let me see if I can do this now. Right now I've got it set up for green. Okay, now to get into the color change mode, you have to hold EMG and mode. And I have to use my other fingers to hold the radio still. Okay, now I'm in green, and I can use the buttons on the microphone to change, or I can use the buttons on the front of the radio. Oh, waited too long. Now, let's try this again. Blue. And of course the blue is not as bright as it looks on the camera. There's cyan. Yellow, which is more of a yellow-green. Purple. My granddaughter really likes this one. And there's the clear. Now the radio comes shipped in orange. Okay, but to me, the green is the most clear color as far as being able to view it during the daytime or nighttime that the radio has. That's my preferred color. Now, it may not be as pretty as some of the other colors, but visually, it's the easiest to read in all lights. Okay? All right. Next, let's take the covers off of it and see what's inside. More to come. Okay, now I've switched modes to FM. Still on channel 20. Let's see how it does on FM. Okay, still the 3.5 watts. And of course you don't have any forward swing on FM because it's frequency modulated. Okay. But anemic 3.5 watts on the FM, which is not going to get you very far. But anyway. Got the covers off. Taking a peek inside here. And of course, typical of all the new presidents, there's absolutely no adjustments inside the radio. None. Nothing whatsoever. And trust me when I tell you these jumpers don't do anything. Okay, so no extra channels, none of that stuff. You won't be able to convert one of them to 10 meters. It is strictly a CB radio, 1 through 40 channels. They are using some high quality capacitors on the DC input. Still not enough. Those look like 220s. Two 220s. So a total of 440 microfarad on the DC input, which is not enough. Fortunately, I can still change that and make those larger, but not by much. There's just not enough room in there. We can probably get some 2200s in place of them. But there it is. Now the construction of the radio, the quality of the radio is really good. Okay? And I like the fact that they've got an RF shield around the antenna jack, which keeps the RF from getting into other parts of the radio, like a frequency determination section. This is what it looks like on the bottom. Pretty bare bones. So, the only benefit of this radio, well, actually there's a couple of benefits. Small size is number one. You can put this in just about anything nowadays. Okay, you all know that new vehicles don't have anywhere to put radios. They don't care about radios. They don't understand that CB and 10-meter radios are making a comeback. And I believe the reason they're making a comeback is because it costs so doggone much for cell phones. But these are well-made surface mount components in the radio. All right, so you can put this thing in a dump truck and it's not going to hurt it. You won't have leads breaking because of components wiggling and stuff. So as far as that goes, it's a very, very high quality unit. Well made. And I do believe that Quasang makes this too, not Uniden. I can just tell by the construction of the radio. It's made by Quasang in China. And the other benefit is you can get service information on these radios, where you can't on the Unidens. Okay? All right, let me get the covers put back on it, and we'll finish this up. More to come. One other thing that I need to mention is that this radio, like a lot of the other President radios, can use either the electric mic that comes with it, or it can be switched over to a dynamic mic. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. When you first turn the radio on, you'll see the symbol EL pop up, and that's for electric mic. You see that? ELEC. That's electric. There's a function that you can use to change the microphone from electric to dynamic, which means you can use power mics and stuff on this. They just have to be wired into the 6-pin mic jack. But if you've got one of the adapters for like the Bearcat 980 that converts the 6-pin to 4-pin, they will also work on these radios. Okay? Well, that about does it. The new President Thomas FCC, one of the latest radios with FM. 7.3, folks. Hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, click the like button, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. 7.3, everybody. Stay safe.